Hello, Mr. Nemo here. Must be time for a tester quiz because Nemo Academy is back. To start us off, I gotta go quick. Got a lot of work to do. Only got 5 minutes, as you know. Rewind it and listen to it again if you missed something. Starting off here, we have 8 times 1 equals 8. And this is an example of the multiplicative identity. So, multiplicative identity. And what that states is that anything times 1 is just itself. So if you had 10 times 1, that would equal 10. 100 times 1 is equal to 100. The only exception, I believe, is 0 times 1. And 0 kind of takes precedence because that is 0. But everything else, when it's times 1, it is just itself. And that is the multiplicative identity. Next, we have an example of the associative property, although you can't tell because I don't have the parentheses in there. But what we'll do is we have 32 plus parentheses 25 plus 12, and if we take the parentheses and we put them around the 32 and the 25, we didn't move any numbers around, and your answer is still going to be the same. It's just the numbers that we associate with each other inside the parentheses, is the way I look at it, are different. So we didn't change anything except for the parentheses. Everything else stayed the same. Next is an example of, let me see, that is the multiplicative property of 0. So the multiplicative property of 0 says that anytime you multiply something times 0, the answer is 0. And we kind of touched on that one up here a little bit, but anything times 0 is 0, multiplicative property of 0. And the very last but not least is an example of the commutative property of addition. And what that says is that you can still have the same numbers within the parenthesis, so like right here and right here, but what you did is you changed the order of the numbers around. Before the 5 was first, now the 5 is over here. So I think of it as commuting, like when you get in a car and drive somewhere, you're moving things around. So that's commutative property of addition. Next, we have, we're going to simplify. So when we simplify, we have to combine like terms. And so I like to take a pencil and I underline the like terms. So 12y and 3y are definitely like terms. Now the 13y, I'm sorry, 13y and a 3y. But the 12 and the 4, there is no variable attached to those. So we cannot combine them with the 13 and the 3. So I like to make a different mark over top of those. And then all you do is you combine what you have. So I take the 13y plus the 3y, and that gives me 16y. And then I take the 12 plus the 4, and that gives me 16. Now I can't combine these because they're different. One has a variable, and one has nothing. So I take the 16y plus 16, and then that's my answer. I don't solve it. I can't do anything else with it. It is what it is. Next, we have an example of the distributive property. And I'm going to take that 3 that's on the outside of the parenthesis, and I'm going to distribute it to everything within the parenthesis. So first I take the 3 and I take times the w, and I get 3w. And then the 3 times the minus 4 will give me minus 12. So 3w minus 12, and that's it. I am done now. I cannot combine the 3w and the 12 because of the subtraction sign there and the fact that this has a variable and the 12 does not. So those are not like terms. They are what they are. It is what it is. I'm done. Time to move on to the next one. And next we have j plus a negative 4 equals 9. So now we're going to solve each equation algebraically. So when I look at this, I divide it in half. I have a left and I have a right. And then I look at the side with the variable. That's where I start. There's my variable. And I want to get rid of this minus 4. Don't let the plus minus 4 confuse you. If you cover that up and just look at the minus 4, we always do the opposite. What's the opposite of minus 4? Plus 4. And that gives us 0, so that cancels out. Whatever I do to the left, I got to do to the right. Plus 4, 9 plus 4 is 13. And so our answer is simply j is equal to 13. And last but not least, let me see. Last but not least, we're going to stop. I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to have to make 2 videos. So there's 2 more problems coming. Don't fret. And make sure you tune in for the next one. I'm going to get that started right now and put them up. So good luck. Study, study, study.